G'day. This is my 12-year-old daughter, Dayla.
And this is my 50-year-old dad.
No, technically I'm 49. I don't turn 50 until 2 more weeks. Today we're going to show you how to make a rabbit snare using a guitar string, a steel guitar string, and a nylon string. You can use a bit of catgut if you haven't got a guitar, but you want a piece of wire. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we'll make it a snare, eh? Today I'm going to show you how to make a rabbit snare with a piece of wire. In this case it's a number 16 guitar string. It's quite a thick one, those of you who play guitar, and some catgut, and you also need a pair of long nose pliers probably. Now not everybody's got the luxury of having a firearm or a firearms license. I know that at some stage had one and then they may have lost it due to reasons of the law, who knows. But you can certainly get yourself some cheap meat with these two simple pieces of material. First of all, I'm going to take the wire. You can also get a bit of this at the hardware shop. I'm just using it because it's a second-hand guitar string and that's actually handy to reuse something that's got no other use. I'm going to bend it like that, so it's got a good loop in the end of it, and then twist it round. The reason I'm using a slightly thicker piece of wire than say a number 12 guitar string is that later on I'm going to be putting a crimp in here, because this is actually a snare that is a twitch up snare, so the wire itself has to have a little bit of strength in it. Now we've got a good loop in the end of our wire, we're going to take the other end of the guitar string and thread that through the loop, thus making a slip knot, which will slide freely up and down like so. Now the beauty in using a guitar string is on the other end it has this little nub which has a hole which goes right through it, as you can see. We're going to take our piece of catgut, thread it through the hole in the nub, and I like to tie a bowline when I do this. It's just a knot that seems to stay there forever. And what you don't want is you don't want that end coming off and a rabbit running around with a snare around its neck somewhere. Plus it's got to take the full weight of the rabbit. And there's our bowline there. So we are good to go. That ain't going to come off. Right, now we're going to go and find some rabbitat. That's habitats where rabbits live. Okay. So we're going to have a closer look. We've got 3 here. There's 2 black ones right there, beside each other. And just over there is another one right by the pellet. Zoom out again. Man, the place is crawling with them. And over here we've got, I think, another couple here. There's one. What's that, 2? That's a black one and a brown one. But those are all juvenile rabbits. None of those are very big. Once you've found a place that's got heaps of rabbits, like this place, what you want to find out next is where they're going. And there's a good sized one over there that's a full size bunny. And right along here, there'll be a hole somewhere down here it'll be sneaking in and out of. So I'm going to find that, and that's where I'm going to set my snare. That's my fork. Going to sharpen the edges up a little bit so it drives easier into the ground. That's good. Take that off. Nice. Give it a bit of a clean up. Hunting knife. You've got a nice fork. I'm going to drive that in the ground. And the reason I need a solid one is we're going to have a long piece of timber bent over, a tree in this case, and that's going to take the pressure of that in the ground and not pull it out. Come down to where we saw that mature rabbit, and there's an obvious place right here without looking too far that it's been passing through. Definite track, one on the ground, and it's in an ideal place actually because above it is a nice big stretchy pittosporum. And we're going to tie the nylon part of our snare to that. This branch here will probably come right down. It's got a good spring, so we'll put that down. We'll fix that in front of the hole like so, and the trigger mechanism, when it sets off, will pull that up. Bob's your uncle, rabbit casserole for dinner. So with our fork, just going to poke it in here, and I'm going to smack that with a piece of wood, hold it in place. It's an ideal place right here, actually perfect. Give it a good whack. And then on top of that, I'm going to lift this piece of wood and put that on top of there as well. That's going to add even more strength to hold that down. And I'm going to block off the surrounding area with some other bits of timber. Might need something to block this hole here too a bit. This part you're going to need your long nose pliers again. There's my snare. It's fixed the other end of the tree. Now you want to make it about as big as a fist, I'd say. A fist can go through it. Above that, about the length of your thumb up, about here, we're going to put a crimp in it now. This is why I've used number 16 wire. You can do it with your hand, or you can do better still with a pair of pliers to get a sharper edge on it. This is where we're going to set our trigger. Gotcha. Perfect. So it looks like that. Okay. So I pulled my pittosporum down, and I've got my loop over the actual end of it. There you can see it's like a lasso, and I've got my foot on the other end, so I'm just going to lift that branch up now, and that'll tighten that up so it's nice and tight on there. It should be able to take the weight of the actual plant and hold it. That's good. Right, getting a little bit closer down to it. This is the only really tricky part about making a snare like this. You can see on my entrance here I've got a wee piece of wood. You can see that now. I'll bring the camera back a bit. Excuse fingers. Just here. I've cut a bit off. That's going to be an ideal place to set my trigger. So bringing the snare down. Now while I'm doing this, just mention you don't actually have to do it this way. This is just there's more than one way to skin a rabbit, as they say. Okay, I've got a really close-up shot here of the trigger part of the snare. This is the part that goes up to the tree that's sprung load on the left, and here's the piece that we crimped below, and then below this is the actual snare which goes in the fork, which you can't see. This piece of wood up here is just tipped on the edge, so when this piece of wood gets touched and slips down, then it releases the crimped piece which pulls the snare up. It's basically the same as a mousetrap effect on your conventional type mousetrap. So this piece of wood has to be touched. Okay, here's a better angle of the snare. Here's my trigger stick. I've got to be careful not to touch that because the piece of wire going above it is under immense pressure. That's tied to the piece of wire that's going up here. It's tied to my tree above me, which is bent right down, sprung loaded. And here's my snare going around. Now the bottom of it is about an inch off the ground. You can see there's an inch of clearance underneath there. I can get my finger underneath it. That's how it should be. But we're going to test it first, and then we're going to reset it. Hopefully it goes off. I've done my stuff right. So Mr. Rabbit comes along. Yeah. What's up, Doc? These bits of wood went around my hole before. Now it should be okay. And Rabbit goes through the snare. He still touched the wire, hasn't gone yet. Hasn't gone. And here's history. Rightio, she's all set and ready to go again. I'm going to come back tonight with my daughter. She always enjoys doing stuff like that with me. And we'll see if we've got a rabbit. Remember, if you're trapping any sort of animal, whether it's wild pig, deer, rabbit, to check traps daily. If the animal does get caught in it and it hasn't been killed, it's inhumane to let it suffer overnight like that. So always check your traps at least once a day. I do mine morning and night. We'll come back later on and see how that goes. Do you know where the snare is set up?
You just told me before that's over here. That corner.
Okay, that's where it is. Just down here.
You don't get stung by bees.
Yeah, watch out for bees in the clover. Okay, just around the corner here, and there's nothing in there. Nothing's been through either. Okay, you know what that means, don't you? That means tonight for dinner, rice, vegetables, and no meat. Well, it's still early. We'll come out and check it a bit later on. Maybe we'll get one between now and 8 o'clock tonight.
How does it catch a rabbit if it moves that little stick?
It does. That sets the trigger and the tree above pulls it up. Yeah. Come down and I'll show you. Should we go? Check it out. Now remember, as we're walking down here, we could actually scare a rabbit that's out in the paddock and effectively make it run in through the hole and catch it now too if there's nothing in there yet.
That's why we should have gone round the other way.
Look at all this here, heaps of rabbit poo. There's bunnies everywhere around here. This is a good way to go, honey. You don't have to whisper, sweetheart.
Okay.
We scare it, we can still catch it. Okay. Are you scared to go down and check it?
No, I don't think it's gone off.
Well, go and have a look.
I think it has.
Oh, look at that, eh? Perfect. Wow. Nice one. Still warm, is it?
Yeah. Still warm.
The good thing about that is that there's no bullet holes, so it's going to be a perfect piece of meat.
And so it died instantly?
It died, well, that piece of wire there that's gone around its neck, that cuts through pretty deep. It's and it chokes it. And you can see the trap.
So it's dead right now?
It's very
completely
dead. Yeah, it's very dead. The trap has gone off and killed it instantly. Okay, we'll take it away and...
set the trap again?
No, we only need one rabbit, honey. I've got enough meat for tonight. But we'll eat this one tomorrow night. Cool, eh? So we'll take that off and skin it and gut it.